Hi, cozy friends, and welcome back if you are new to my cozy corner. Welcome to another cozy week in my life of my cozy hobbies, mostly what I am reading and knitting. I want to start off with talking about what I am making this week. I shared in this month's Cozy Diaries that I started working on the book club cardigan by Sari Nordland for the knitalong, and I will put the host's name here on the screen, and I will also have the link for the knitalong in the description if you want to join. It is not too late, but I have been obsessed with this pattern and absolutely addicted to working on it since we started. This is the current progress I have made on my cardigan. This is the start of week 4 of working on this cardigan, but I want to walk you through my progress timeline because I have never worked on a project this big this quickly. The last week of May is when I swatched and cast on for this project, and by week 2 I had already finished the top back panel and had picked up stitches for the right shoulder, and then by week 3 I had finished the left shoulder as well and was able to join in the round to start working down the body of the cardigan. And now it's week 4 of working on this cardigan, and I have already marked for the pockets, and this is just waste yarn. It won't stay in the project. I will pick up stitches to create the pocket and pull that yarn out. But I only have one more diamond repeat before I would work the hem for the bottom of the body. The knit along runs until August 10th, so I'm definitely ahead of schedule. I just can't stop working on it because I'm so obsessed with working these cables, and it's just such a fun knit. It is coming along so beautifully, and I cannot wait to get to wear it. Let's talk about what I'm reading. This weekend I finished Hello Beautiful by Anne Napolitano, and it was so amazing. It really took me by surprise because I almost returned this book to the library at a certain point, just before 20%, but I decided to give it one more chapter before I would return it because I didn't know if I just wasn't immersed enough. Everything changed in that next chapter. The premise of this story is we are following William, who has grown up with very negligent parents who didn't show him very much love or really look at him. So he is so desperate to have someone see him that he'll become anyone that someone sees in him. So when he goes to college and he meets Julia Padovano, he will do anything to be in her orbit, and she introduces him to her sisters, and he is basically just adopted into the family by proxy to Julia. Julia really loves what she sees that William could be rather than what he is. She doesn't love him for him. And I was getting bored with the story. I was like, okay, they're together now. What are we gonna do from here? I like the characters, but not enough to have a whole other 80% of this book to keep going. But due to his trauma and his negligent upbringing, William decides that his wife Julia and his daughter would be better off if he weren't in their lives. So he leaves them and takes measures to relieve them of the burden that he believes himself to be. I started crying during that chapter and couldn't put the book down from there. It was such a moving story about grief and loss and forgiveness and love and choosing your own happiness above others. Every character at some point in this book makes an extremely selfish decision, usually for the sake of their own happiness. But that was a really important message. And some of the characters aren't really likable. I think Julia, namely, is not likable. She is very much a result of her upbringing, and where some of the characters choose to not be like their mother, she chooses to be exactly like their mother. And so this book just really deeply spoke to me, and the relationships between the sisters and the dynamic were just so impactful and just so raw. They often parallel themselves with the March sisters from Little Women, and they take turns with who they feel they most align with. When they are having a bad day, they will say to each other, "I'm feeling a little Beth today," and give each other a big hug. And it was just such a special book. I was so surprised that this was a 5-star for me because, like I said, at the 20% mark, I didn't think this book was for me at all. I highly recommend this book, especially if you like literary fiction or if you like classics like Little Women. You need to pick up this book. It was so good. And this is my second book by this author. And she's really just surprised me, and I hope to pick up more from her in the future. We had a really nice Father's Day yesterday, and we actually went book shopping. Lately on the weekends, we've been doing this thing where we leave the house right at my son's nap time and let him fall asleep in the car seat, and then we will transport him into the stroller so that he can sleep while we shop, because If any of you have a 2-year-old, you know that if you are at the store, you don't get to look at anything because they are running down the aisle. But this has been such a nice change of pace, and we got to do some book shopping, so I want to do a little book haul. I picked up Normal People by Sally Rooney, which I believe is a romance. It says it is a classic coming-of-age love story, so I'm really looking forward to this one, mostly because Jack Edwards loves it, and I really love his videos, so I feel like it's high time that I pick it up. I picked up Tom Lake by Ann Patchett, which I believe is about a mother telling her daughters about her love story with a celebrity many years prior, and I also hear just amazing things about this one. The reason I picked both of these up, I think, is because I've been really enjoying reading more literary fiction. I honestly, for many years, have pretty much exclusively read fantasy and science fiction, which are my favorite genres, but I've just wanted to try out a new genre, and it's been really fun. And then the last book I picked up is Before the Coffee Gets Cold. It is a time travel story that takes place in a cafe in Tokyo, and the customers of the cafe have the chance to travel back in time and I believe talk with a loved one that has passed. And I hear nothing but praise for this one as well. So I'm really excited about these books and I cannot wait to pick them up soon. Now we can talk about what I'm currently reading. Last night I started The Lost Apothecary. I am buddy reading it with my friend Mickey that lives here in Canberra that I've been having my knitting dates with. So we started reading this together. I was able to get the audiobook from my library, so I'm probably going to listen to it today because I have some cleaning to do, and hopefully I really enjoy it because it really is giving me Wayward vibes. I really loved Wayward. I think I rated it 4.5, but this book has lived in my brain rent-free since I finished it. I did not upload this past weekend, and that is because I was waiting on my new vlog camera to come in. I talked about it in my Cozy Diaries that I ordered it, and I'm so excited to invest in upgrading the quality for this channel. This video is not being filmed on my new camera, and that is because I have not received it. I guess I had so much to update on, but this is the last thing before we jump into the rest of the vlog. But my husband just got me this beautiful new shelf, and it has cute little baskets on it. He found it on Facebook Marketplace for me, and when he went and picked it up, he found out that the lady he was buying it from also used it for her knitting projects and yarn, which is so special. And I'm so excited to organize my current projects into it some more. I have been stashing my temperature blanket and all my other current whips in the same basket that was just overflowing. And I find it so sweet that he went out of his way to find something for me to organize all my projects into. I'll definitely be sharing more updates of my current read and projects, and I hope you enjoy unraveling with me. Hi Cozy friends, happy Tuesday. So I made it to 50% of The Lost Apothecary yesterday, and I want to start by saying I did prefer Wayward. I am enjoying this book, but I don't love the present timeline. I really do like the past perspective. I like Nella, who is the past POV. I think she lives in the year 1791, and she runs an apothecary shop where she distributes poisons to women who want to free themselves of their abusive husbands or whatever the reason is. She helps them out of their sticky situations by administering them I'm gonna pretend like we didn't see that. By administering them the poison that they are seeking to solve their situation. And she was left this shop by her mother, who actually did not distribute poisons but distributed remedies to women. And I do really like the commentary of that in the past and her inner conflict with having changed the intention of the shop that her mom created and built. And I love the dynamic between her and Eliza. Eliza is a 12-year-old girl girl who came seeking a poison for her mistress's husband. And we find out more about that situation, why he needs the poison. But also she has just a really special dynamic with Nella, and I really love their perspectives and enjoy the chapters that are in their POV, especially on the audiobook. I think that Nella's voice is acted really well. I don't love the present timeline. I feel like it really isn't adding any value to the story, and I am hoping that we find out that the present day main character is like a descendant of the past POV. Caroline is the present, and it feels like she is not like other girls. Like, she lets us know that from the beginning. And this is meant to be a feminist book, so I'm really surprised by that take. And her husband is cheating on her, but he also held her back in life because he didn't want her to get her master's. And it seems like she is trying to take back her life and take some space from him and figure out what she wants in life. I do hope that it takes a more empowering turn by the end, but so far it's not feeling like it is. I think in all of my rambling yesterday, I completely forgot to ask. Let me know down in the comments what you are reading or working on or watching lately. I would love to hear what has been bringing you comfort lately. In other news, update on the camera. I woke up to a refund that I did not request. I'm happy to have my money back, but I literally don't understand. So I am hoping that I can get a new order placed for my dream camera. My monetization for my channel is in processing, which is so very exciting. And I just really want to celebrate with this new candle. And I just really want to celebrate with this new upgraded camera for my videos. But our rental inspection on our townhome here is in a couple days, so I'm definitely going to put my headphones in and get to cleaning. I've been really enjoying audiobooks lately, which is such a nice surprise because I used to really struggle to focus with them, but it's been a really nice way to motivate me to get cleaning. I'm going to put my headphones in and get to cleaning. Let's unravel. Hi cozy friends, and happy Wednesday. Yesterday I was able to finish the Lost Apothecary, which is so crazy because I think I read it in like 2 days. I started it on Sunday night, but I only read like 2 chapters, so I really read it in Monday, Tuesday. I don't feel like it got any better though. I feel like it's a 2.5 stars, but on Goodreads I went with 3 because there's no half stars on Goodreads. After all these years, they still haven't given us that. Like, for a book that was meant to be a feminist, like empowering story, it just really missed the mark for me. The past timeline was really good. I do wish there was more done with the past timeline, but the present timeline was supposed to offer some sort of juxtaposition to the past, but it just didn't. The present timeline following Caroline, she is the one that discovers the vial in the present, but I mean, that's literally all she offers. Her decisions and choices and actions make 0 sense, and I don't feel like she was in any way connected to Nella or Eliza, nor did her story like parallel theirs in any way, other than there are discussions of fertility and stuff in both of their stories. She works with a research librarian named Gaynor during her search for this Lost Apothecary. I kind of wish that we had followed her and that it had been her to discover the vial. I think that would have been a little more interesting. And if not, if we were going to follow Caroline, I wish that her like cheating crappy husband was cruel enough that we had justification for her to like kill him with one of the potion recipes she finds in the apothecary or something. I think that would have been a more interesting plot line, even though it's obviously super like questionable. More interesting plot line than what we were given, which we were given the essential oil incident. If you know, you know. I don't know why I was so vague about the essential oil incident. Maybe I was trying to avoid spoilers. So if you don't want spoilers for this book, maybe skip ahead to the next part of the video. As someone who does aromatherapy, if you don't know, I had a candle business when I was still living in the States. It's on hiatus now because we are living abroad. But as someone who loves and studies aromatherapy, it really bothered me how this was handled in the book. book. She is visiting London to escape from her cheating husband. This was supposed to be a planned trip for both of them, but she goes alone because she finds out about his cheating and needs some space from him. Well, he shows up anyways, and he is saying that he's sick. She tells him, oh, the eucalyptus is in the bathroom, and so he goes and uses the eucalyptus oil. She doesn't tell him how to administer it, which is important to the plot because he ingests it and gets very sick. Consuming essential oil is toxic, and he ends up in the hospital. And because she's been researching this poison apothecary that used to kill husbands, like they think that she did this to him on purpose. But the part that makes me upset about this is when she finds out that he ingested it, she's like, why would you do that? Why didn't you read the label or ask me how to use it? And he's like, I just thought I was supposed to take it like cough syrup. Okay, fine. If you're uninformed, if you're unknowledgeable on essential oils, that's, I guess, a reasonable thing to think. If she wanted him to put it on his throat like she says in the book, then that would mean it needs to have a carrier oil in it, because carrier oils are what makes it safe for the skin when you are using essential oils. But I'm assuming that it didn't, because it was clearly just an essential oil bottle. So I feel like that was a huge plot hole. She would tell him to just put pure essential oil on his skin, but he's not supposed to consume it. Like, you're not supposed to do either of those things. So if you do not know this, always make sure you use a carrier oil when you are using essential oils, and do not ingest them. But this plot hole really bothered me, so I just needed to rant about it. That part actually drove me crazy. So maybe I'll pick up one of the new books I hauled this week. In other news, I've decided to pick back up working on my Auguste sweater, which is so exciting. I haven't worked on it in weeks because once I started working on my book club cardigan, I went into a rabbit hole of just working on nothing but that. I haven't worked on my temperature blanket either, which I shared a whole video about getting started on. I'll have that linked up here. I'll catch up on it, but I had this on pause. I picked up the stitches for the sleeves a couple weeks ago, I think, because I was going on a knitting date and I needed something easier to work on than the book club cardigan. But besides those knitting dates, I haven't really touched it. But this morning I started working on it and I got like really far. What helped me make some real progress was I gave up on using my shorty interchangeable needles. If you are a knitter, I think you hear people talking about shorties and they are cool. I don't have short enough wires to work on sleeves without doing the magic loop technique. And if I'm gonna do magic loop, I need my longer needles. So I decided to take my shorties out and put in just a fixed pair of the same size needle. And now I'm chugging away. It was so tough to work on those tiny needles and also do magic loop. So now I'm making some progress, and my hope is that I can finish this sweater by the end of this week and hopefully pick up for the other one. My long-term goal is to finish this sweater by hopefully before the end of winter, because it's winter here in Australia right now, and I'd really like to get to wear it this season while it is cold. But I still have to finish this sleeve. I have to pick up for this one and do that entire sleeve, and then also put on a collar, and then it will be done. It's looking so beautiful. It's so cozy when I slip it on and try it on. So I can't wait to get to wear it. While I was knitting, I started listening to the audiobook Siren Queen by Nevo, and I am really liking the vibe, reading from the perspective of a Chinese American woman in Hollywood trying to make it. If you know me, then you know that siren mythology and folklore is one of my favorite things. So from the first time I saw this book, I knew I wanted to pick it up eventually, and oftentimes how I end up reading a book is what's available or what hold comes in from my library. I had this one on hold and it came in, so I was like, sweet, I guess I'll read this next. I only have one more cable repeat on this sleeve, and then I can begin the twisted rib hem to match the body of the sweater. And I'm so excited that I'm almost done with one sleeve. I feel like I've had this project waiting for sleeves for a while. I don't know if that's true. I think I started this sweater shortly after we got here, so I guess that was like probably mid-April. So I guess it hasn't been that long, but it feels like I put it down for a while in exchange for my book club cardigan. So it's nice to be working on it and really seeing progress. Sleeves are working up fast. And in other news, I forgot to update. I did order the camera. Again, part two, take two. I ordered the camera. Hopefully this time it goes better. My refund is still processing on the last one, so that was an ouch for my wallet, but refund's processing. Everything will be fine. It said it should be delivered in just a couple of days, so hopefully that is the case, because that would make me very, very happy. As I said, I've been waiting for a couple weeks, and I'm just so eager to finally have it in my hands. And I just think it's going to be really, really nice for my channel. And I want to thank you so much for being here and enjoying unraveling with me and letting me share my cozy hobbies with you. And it often feels like I'm just hanging out with a friend, which is so nice. And I hope it feels that way for you as well. So I'm probably going to pop in my headphones and get to reading and knitting, and I hope you can unravel with me. I just tried on my sweater, and the sleeve is the perfect length after that last cable repeat. So I am now going to start working the decreases so that I can put the hem on the sleeve, and it will be in the same twisted rib as the bottom of the body. But I'm so excited to be pretty much completing this first sleeve on this sweater, and I will keep you updated. Hello and happy Thursday. As you saw in last night's clips, I did actually finish the right sleeve of my Auguste sweater. I will insert some clips of me trying it on. I'm just so eager to get the left sleeve put on and the collar so that this sweater can be complete and be worn this winter. It feels so cozy. I am still working on catching up on Bridgerton, but I want to share my thoughts. If you don't want any spoilers for season 3, maybe skip this part of the video, but I feel like they are not doing Penelope justice. The entire plot has been about her secret and a lot of drama around that rather than their romance. I wish there had been flashbacks on screen to their childhood together so that we could really believe their chemistry and their friendship. Throughout the entire show, it has been alluded to that Penn and Colin have just always been friends, but like we just don't see it and I just don't feel it. And I think that's really pulling me out of season 3 because it's not they're saying it, they're not giving it, they're not showing it. Go from friends to lovers when you are childhood friends. Maybe you don't put enough into the romance because, well, you've just always been friends, so now there's just another layer to it. I feel like there is no intimacy in their romance, even though they are being intimate. It doesn't feel romantic whatsoever. It feels very like rushed. There's not enough emphasis on how he goes from professing his love for her straight into having his hand up her dress. Like, I don't understand why it always is so rushed, and like they never just kiss, they never just talk, they never communicate, and it feels like he didn't give her the time or romance she deserves. And some people seem to be saying that it's a commentary on how plus size women are treated in relationships, and that's also a possibility. Or in that era where Bridgerton takes place, I feel like women of a plumper size would be seen as like it's a status of wealth. Like historically, I think plus size women were like glorified. So I don't understand why her mother talks down to her for her size and stuff like that. Feels like something that happens in our like modern era. So that's really confusing. I'd love to hear, if you watch Bridgerton, what your thoughts are on season 3. I'm probably going to put Bridgerton on right now though and try to finish the season. I'm going to pick up for the left shoulder of the Auguste sweater. Let's get cozy. Hello friends, it is now Friday. I am currently working on the second sleeve of my Auguste sweater. Yesterday we had our rental inspection and it was actually so chill. I was expecting her to come in here and be like testing for dust and like using a microscope on the windows, but it was so chill. She just came over and was like, hey, do you guys have any issues, like anything we need to fix? She's like, looks good in here, have a great day. I also got a notification this morning that my new camera that I've been sharing the saga of in these videos will be delivered today. I honestly started editing this video last night and I decided to cut out like 10 minutes of me ranting about how angry this company made me that I ordered from for my camera, because like I really like to foster cozy, comforting vibes in these videos, and me rambling about a frustrating purchasing experience was just not the vibe. So I did decide to leave most of that out. I am looking forward to making my mid-year reading wrap up, so drop a like or a comment if you are excited for that video. I think those videos are some of my favorites of the year. I love to see what people have been reading so far, what their favorites and least favorite books are. I did some journaling this morning with my coffee, and it is always so valuable for me to get my feelings out of my head and onto paper and really sort through some of my thoughts. A lot of the times I have on a podcast or an audiobook while I knit, but sometimes it is really good to just sit in your own company and just listen to those thoughts or turn off the thoughts. I think knitting especially can be so meditative. I find that my reading is really good for escapism and my knitting is really good for presence, but they both offer me so much value. Escapism is valuable for your mental health in your hobbies, but so is presence. If I receive my camera before I get this video put up, I will probably insert some clips of me unboxing it and maybe a clip of me trying it out. But I'm probably going to wrap this vlog up right here. I want to thank you so very much for getting cozy and unraveling with me. Don't forget to leave a comment down below of what you have been reading or working on. For even more cozy content, make sure you follow me on Instagram so that we can be friends. Tap subscribe so you don't miss future cozy videos. But most especially, do not forget to do something cozy this week. Thank you so much for watching and unraveling with me, and I am wishing you a very cozy week.